Pink and featuring Christ Stapleton is going to be capoed on the 1st fret and then played out of D formation. The song isn't being played on guitar, but this is the chord progression that the piano is following and the chord shapes that make the most sense for me to play it on guitar. It's going to start out on a droning note, so the D note that I'm playing is 1st finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, ring finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and then I'm just not even fretting anything on the 1st string. And I'm droning using my fingers to pick 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 1st finger on the 3rd string. And that drone keeps happening on those strings the entire song, and you'll just move the progression by striking your thumb on whatever the root of the chord is. So the 1st chord, the root, is going to be the open 4th string. So notice how I'm plucking down with my thumb to carry the root of the chord, to give the chord its name basically, and then droning with my 1st and 2nd fingers. The 2nd chord will be an A chord. What I'm doing here is I'm leaving my 1st and ring finger planted where they are in the D position, and they'll stay like this for the vast majority of the song, and I'm moving with my 2nd finger to the 4th string 2nd fret, and then plucking with my thumb the open 5th string, but I've got my 2nd finger where it is, so that if I strike the 4th string behind it, it's still the chord, as opposed to. So the 2nd chord, or the 3rd chord that you need to know now, is I move with my 2nd finger again to the 5th string 2nd fret. This is creating a B minor. And I'm striking with my thumb the 5th string 2nd fret, relative to the capo, of course, 2nd fret, and then droning with my 2nd and 1st fingers on strings 2 and 3. And then the 3rd chord is going to be a G. Move with your 2nd finger to the 6th string 3rd fret. The 4th chord, I might have said 3rd chord. The 4th chord is going to be G. Move with your 2nd finger to the 6th string 3rd fret, and here you'll pick up your 1st finger off of the 3rd string, and you'll let your 1st finger in the droning pattern hit the open 3rd string, and then that repeats D to an A to a B minor to a G. Now, something that you can hear the piano doing in the B minor is the piano then hits this note at times. So if you want to hit that, you would have to drop your ring finger down 1 fret so that it's on the 2nd string 2nd fret, like, and then go into the G. So that's the main progression that's happening throughout the verses. Aside from that main chord progression that is happening throughout the verses of D, A, B minor, and G, there are a few deviations from that we first notice in what I'll call, I guess, the pre-chorus, and it moves from the D chord to the B minor chord. It skips over the A chord, and then the next chord is going to be a new chord. It's basically an E minor. So after our B minor chord, where we've moved our 2nd finger to the 5th string 2nd fret, we'll then hit the open 6th string and lift up our 1st finger to expose the open 3rd string, leaving our 2nd finger where it was for the B minor. This is a relative E minor chord, so we're going D to a B minor to an E minor, then to the A chord. And the A finishes by dropping your ring finger from the 2nd string 3rd fret to the 2nd string 2nd fret. Now, I know that the way that I'm fingering these chords may be unfamiliar to you. Feel free to finger them however is most comfortable for you, but for me in these movements, this is the most natural way that I could think of to do it, to be able to catch all the little nuances. Alright, then the second change that we hear, that is a deviation from the standard chord progression, happens in the chorus, and that's going to be a D to the E minor, to the B minor, to the G. And that repeats D to the E minor, to the B minor, and I've messed up that B minor, to the G. Alright, so that's the second change to be familiar with. So the three chord progressions that we've talked about so far is the main one. D to the A, or B major to A major, to B minor, to G major. The second one is a D major to a B minor, to an E minor, to an A. And the third is the course of a D to an E minor, to a B minor, to a G major. The fourth, we're on the fourth chord progression now, is going to be what I'll call the bridge, and it's a B minor to an A major to a G. And the way that you're doing that is just so the B minor chord, lift up your second finger and put it on the fourth string second fret, leaving your first and ring fingers in that D position. And then move your second finger to the sixth string third fret. And for this one, I'll leave my first finger down in the D position instead of opening up first finger for the open third string. And that's the bridge, B minor, A to the G. And then it goes back to the main chord progression of D, A, B minor, G. And then I think the chorus also of D, E minor, B minor, G. One last note to make about this song is that you can hear the piano doing this walk up. So the way that you're going to do that is while you're alternating with your second and first fingers on the second and third string, you'll then hit the open first string and you'll bring your second finger from wherever it was moving the chord and plant it on the first string second fret. So you've got in the D, then to the A, and you'll bring your second finger back up to fret the first string second fret, B minor, and then to the G chord, and it repeats that way. Those are the chords and progressions to this song. Hopefully it gives you an idea of how to approach it.